Hey, this is James Massey with Alaska Woodchuck. I've got my camera set up at a different angle today, so I won't really be able to see the comments. So when I'm done showing what I want to show today in the video, I'll turn the camera around and I'll look at those comments. Again, I'm doing a live video because it's easier for me that way. Everybody tuning in. Michael, hey man, how's it going? Everybody tuning in, just keep in mind if you do have a question or comment, I'll get to those in the end. This will be pretty quick. I've got here, this strop is a double-sided strop from Pinewood Forge. This might actually be my favorite strop. It's not the thinnest substrate, but it's pretty close. It's second in line to the thinnest substrate that I can find. So I'm going to use this one today to give most of our examples. I've got also with me the helvie strop, which is absolutely phenomenal. I've got this strop where I took a rubberized cork and I put it on top of what was once a double-sided Pinewood Forge strop because I love the shape. I've also got with me here a dunkle strop with my strop sock. And this, I believe, is pigskin. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start with this one. I'm going to start with a straight knife, a detail knife from helvie, 1.5 inch blade. This is a convex blade. So what does that mean? Let me draw for you a little bit of a diagram, if you will. If you can imagine a triangle like this, okay? If you have a blade shaped like this is not convex, right? I forget what the name of this grind is, but it's pretty good for wood carving. Now, what they'll do at helvie, what Rich will do is, that's a terrible design. It's more like this, right? So if you can imagine, this is convex right here. So that just kind of sharpens it like this, okay? So it's not tapered all the way to the back of the blade straight. This is the convex here, it's convex edge. So you're gonna wanna find that edge, and it's actually much easier to do than most people think, okay? So I'm gonna sit down now, just keep this in camera, make sure I got the angle right, I do. You're gonna wanna lay the knife flat and tip it till the sharp of the blade touches the strop. I use my finger on the blade so I can keep it from rocking this way. So lay it on the strop, tip it till the sharp of the blade just touches the strop, and then push away from the sharp of the blade and then stop. Don't slide off the strop and don't curl up. So we're going to lay it down again, tip it till the sharp of the blade just touches the strop, and then pull away from the sharp of the blade, okay, and then stop, okay. That is the best way to do your stropping. I've had people recommend that they stick their finger on the tip, do it 3 times, go the other way, tip 3 times. I just stick my finger somewhere at the middle of the blade, somewhere where I can keep it from rocking, tip the knife till the sharp of the blade just touches the strop, and then push away from the sharp of the blade, okay? We don't want to rock it this way, we don't want to rock it this way. So control is very important, so if you're doing it with speed, that's not a good idea. What I just did there is I used my index finger on my other hand to make sure that I can feel the sharp of the edge just touching the strop, because for me, since I'm right-handed, I can't really see the edge of that blade as well as I can when I'm doing it from here. And honestly, sometimes it's too dark to see it, so I like to use my index finger just to make sure I like where it's at. And then with control, nice and slow, stop, okay? Probably even could have angled it just a little bit more. That's perfect, stop. Lay it flat, tip it till the sharp of the blade just touches the strop, pull away from the sharp of the blade, stop, okay? Do the finger test, and what the finger test really is if it slides around on the finger at all, you either have a burr or a dull edge, okay? This side has a little bit of compound. I'll show you how to load compound when I do this strop here in a second, because this one needs a little bit more. This one's got it recently, okay? I flip it over to the other side. This side has no compound at all. And the idea is that the compound will actually hold a lot of metal into the strop. So I want to make sure I'm wiping any excess compound off the edge of the knife. So tip it till the sharp of the blade just touches the strop. Push away from the sharp of the blade. Nice and steady. Pick it up. Same thing here. Tip it till the sharp of the blade touches the strop, pull away from the sharp of the blade, and stop, okay? Now, one of my favorite strops of all time was this beautiful little gift from Bud Murray. And, no, this wasn't Bud Murray, excuse me. This was from Donald Mertz. And I love this strop so much. All I have to do is hold it like this, tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the strop, so that I can strop both the base and the tip of the knife. Let's go the other way, tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop, and then pull away from the sharp of the edge. boom. You got to be very careful not to rock it, right? So we go slow. Again, lay it till flat, tip it till the sharp of the edge touches the strop, pull away from the sharp of the edge. It's all about control. Same thing here. Boom. Very nice. Okay. So that's how we do a straight knife. This is one of my favorite knives. I call this my Hanzo sword because it's just highly sought after and absolutely wonderful knife. Okay. This is a knife that I made in my How to Make a Wood Carving Knife out of old pocket knives inspired by Donald Mertz, the would-be carver. And this is a funky shaped blade, but I really love working with this tip and this knife. So now I'm going to use the dunkle strop to give an example. This strop is loaded with dunkle's powder, and what you do is just sprinkle a little bit on there and you use your finger and just rub it in, tap it off. I usually scoop it back up, put it back on the strop, rub some more in until it just won't take it anymore, and then I would dump all the powder off and throw the excess away. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this. The best way to explain it for me is it's straight. The back of the knife here is straight, but this side is curved, and I'm focusing on the base here. If I lay it flat, tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop. I don't know if you can see that, but the tip is not touching the strop. Okay, so one way we can work with this is we can pull away from the sharp of the edge, and as we're pulling away, we kind of lift up on the handle and turn the knife so that the sharp of the edge is always just touching the strop, and then we're pulling away from that sharp of the edge. That's one way to do it, right? So I'll show you again. Okay, that's one way we could do it. Let's go to the other way. Tip it till the sharp of the edge is just touching the strop. Now the tip won't be, but as I pull away and angle my knife just right, I'm always keeping the edge just touching the strop, and I'm always pulling straight from the sharp of the edge. Let me give you another artistic depiction. So let's say this is your knife, okay? That's just awesome. It's like a scimitar blade, just like the Donald Mertz scimitar blade, okay? When we're stropping, here's the sharp of the edge, okay? And we need to always be pulling away from that sharp of the edge, okay? So one way you could do that is you could move the strop, but that's ridiculous, right? We wouldn't do that. So we just change the angle of the knife. Again, lay it flat, tip it till the sharp of the edge is just touching the strop. As we're pushing away from the sharp of the edge, we just alter the angle of the knife so that it's always pulling away from the sharp of the edge, okay? And to get the tip just right, you just kind of barely lift up on the handle. Don't bury the blade, okay? And I'll talk more about that in a second. Lay it flat, tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop, pull away from the sharp of the edge, okay? Now, you could start at the tip. I believe that you should practice a lot more often before you start at the tip because there's more base, so it's much more stable when you lay it flat. You can feel it, stability, and it's easier to maintain that stability as you push away from the sharp of the edge, okay? So lay it flat, tip it till the sharp of the edge touches the strop, pull away from the sharp of the edge, okay? Let's do just the tip now. Looks like that. Just the tip now, takes a little more practice. Beautiful. Fingernail test, fantastic, okay? So that's how you do a curved blade, that's how you do a straight blade, but what about a hook knife? Forgive me, I want to see if I have one. I do. I'm going to step away from the camera for a second. Give me a second. Okay. I've got this beautiful hook knife from Dave Lyons right here, okay? And these handles are not my favorite, but they don't bug me too much as long as it's not too long. It does remind me of an old razor blade, and some people really like that. So it's a pretty sought after handle. For those who like it, they love it. So now you can see with this blade, it's almost like we sharpened the other side of the scimitar, you see? So it's shaped this way now, right? And that's really great for getting into hard reach areas, but look at this. This is kind of what's going on with the sharp of the edge, or sharp of the blade. So what do? Well, in all honesty, as my buddy John Eric would say, just very carefully. So I like to actually start at the tip, and as I'm pushing away from the tip, I kind of lift up on the tip to make sure that the base is touching. Let me try to explain this a little bit better. So start at the tip, lay it flat, so tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop, push away, and as I'm pushing away, I go up, and I focus on the base, which will bring the tip up just a little bit, okay? Same thing here, start at the tip, and then focus on the base, okay? Now, his knife is so nice, you can almost just lay it flat and push away from the sharp of the edge, and I love this thing for that reason. Not all hook knives are that way, but Dave Lyons does a really good job with his bevel, so I could basically just take this knife, lay it flat till the sharp of the edge is touching the strop, and it's pretty even all the way through, which is just absolutely incredible, okay? But I got another trick thanks to the dunkle strop that I can do. It's got this edge right here, and this is why dunkle has this edge here. You can just lay it flat and just push away from the sharp of the blade, okay? You can start at the base even, lay it flat and pull away from the sharp of the blade. Excuse me, pull away from the sharp of the blade. See? And this is one of the reasons I absolutely love the dunkle strop. Really well thought out. It helps with hook knives. Very nice, very nice, okay? So that's most of the stropping. When you start to play with fun little knives like this one that I got as a gift from Donald Mertz, you'll realize that, especially one as unique as this, there's certain areas where I might want to just focus on the tips separately. So let me give you a good example. Let's use his strop. The tip on this one, it's curved, but then it kind of goes straight right there a little bit. And I don't know if that was from the sharpening or whatever, but because of that, I'll just kind of work on the tip separately, okay? And I'll do the same thing this way. Work on the tip separately. And then I'll work on the base and just strop right up to where I left off before. 2, 3, okay? Same thing on the other side, pull away from the sharp of the edge, okay? I didn't want to sound like a broken record, so I haven't said it every time I strop, but remember, you place the knife flat on the strop, tip it till the sharp of the edge just touches the strop, and pull away from the sharp of the edge. That's the only instruction you'll ever need for stropping any knife, ever. You don't want to bury it, you don't want to roll out of it, okay? And you don't want to roll off of it, because that will ruin the edge, okay? Now let me turn the camera around and see if there are any questions regarding the what we've seen so far today here. We've got some people watching. Let's go back and read through the questions. Bear with me. People watching, people watching. Well, this is wonderful, okay? Don't see a lot of questions in there. Stropping is pretty simple. I did want to say that when you are stropping, what's really important is that it takes time. You're not always going to get it right the first time, so you have to practice. And the best way to practice is to wear out that edge on a block of wood and strop and make sure it gets better. Let me show you how to load this strop really quick. Let me grab that compound, and that'll be it for wrapping up this video today. Bear with me. All right, so this is the white gold compound that I got from Pinewood Forge. It's really good. I'm happy with it. You guys may have seen a video in the past where I used a blow dryer to heat up the strop to get it in there. I don't really use that strop for my wood carving knives so much as I use it for my woodsman knives and stuff, my buck knives. But it doesn't take much. You just really applying a little bit of compound, left to right, up and down. But just like our knife, I like it to be flat, not rocking. I don't want to bury it in there. I like this block because it's larger than the strop, so I can just keep it flat and keep it even, and then up and down. And that's enough. The compound in there will do its work, okay? You can even see that in the film, which is kind of nice in the video, okay? So let's go ahead and let's just strop again. Let's do this. Let me strop another favorite knife of mine, the scimitar blade, okay? Just real quick, we'll cover the basics, okay? Lay your knife flat, tip it to the sharp of the edge, touch of the strop. As we're pulling away, we're altering the angle of the blade so that the sharp of the blade is always straight away from where we're pulling, right? Do it again. Tip it, pull away. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, you should always be able to fit a dime in the back. That doesn't make sense because not every knife is shaped the same. You can't say that kind of stuff because no two knives are alike. I've had two scimitar blades, neither one of those were alike. You could buy the exact same detail blade from someone as good as Richie, who's arguably the best when it comes to sharpening and shaping blades, and you'll still notice and feel a difference between every knife, okay? All right, let me check one more time for questions. I think that's going to be it for the video. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Hey, Saturday, FYI, I'm going to be doing a carve-along video where I'm going to be carving Dusty Hill from ZZ Top. It's going to be at noon Alaska time. And then on Sunday, I'm going to go hide that carving at the car show in town. I thought, how appropriate is that? We're talking ZZ Top, and then we're going to go honor that with some hot rods. So it's going to be a fun weekend this weekend. It's a sad loss. ZZ Top, for those of you who don't know, is my all-time favorite band ever. So I've been listening to them a lot recently. And so that's it for updates on Alaska Woodchuck. If you ever have any questions, reach out to me on Facebook. I'm really doing this mostly on Facebook now. It's easier to stick to one platform. In the meantime, stay sharp and keep on chucking.